But I knew then, and I know now, that we are tough, and we would get through this if we united together.
Right now at 6, 1 year later, Mayor Lightfoot reflects on the pandemic's toll and looks ahead to Chicago's future.
And March Madness, 2 of Chicago's teams are in the big dance. A live report from Indianapolis as the excitement unfolds.
And this is the last day of winter. Are we in for a nice start to spring? Brant Miller has the answer. The news at 6 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Allison Rosati.
And I'm Stephen Holt in for Rob Stafford tonight. At 6, we begin with the pandemic. It was 1 year ago tonight. Life in the city seemed to stop in its tracks. Chicago's coronavirus stay-at-home order began.
Tonight, Mayor Lori Lightfoot delivered remarks looking back on the past year, how she believes she handled the crisis and where our city is headed. NBC5 political reporter Marianne Ahern joins us now with the big takeaways.
Allison, to say it's been a challenging year is, of course, an understatement. All of us had to navigate life in a pandemic, from those frontline workers at hospitals to those who were forced to stay home. A year ago, Chicago streets were so quiet, only essential workers were leaving their homes. A mask mandate was issued within weeks and no longer seems odd today. Tonight, Mayor Lightfoot highlighted where the city has been, what steps were taken, and now how she sees the months ahead.
Some of my hardest moments as mayor have been making decisions that I knew would harm a business or cause someone to lose their job. We will make sure that Chicagoans truly benefit from the relief in the American Rescue Plan, including accessing more essential housing, food, and utility assistance in the coming months. The success of our recovery will not just be measured by the size of the busy downtown crowds or our GDP, but how quickly residents who have been hit the hardest are able to get back on their feet and move forward with confidence.
On vaccines, the city health department says nearly 48% of seniors who live in Chicago have received one. That does lag behind the state. That is at 62%. So getting more of those 65 years and older vaccinated is a top priority. In the mayor's words, the pandemic showed us the unexpected can become reality very quickly. Her focus now moving forward. From the Control Center, Marianne Ahern, NBC5 News.
Coming out of a dark year and marching into the future. Thank you so much, Marianne.
And as the fight against COVID continues, a West Side hospital is reacting tonight to reports that it is letting some people jump the line when it comes to coronavirus vaccinations.
That reaction includes a reprimand for the hospital's CEO. NBC5's Charlie Wojciechowski has the details.
New questions tonight about how one of the city's first partner hospitals is using the doses of COVID-19 vaccine it is being allocated.
With deepest gratitude, we would like to thank you, George Miller.
The Loretto Hospital CEO, George Miller, seen here in a YouTube video posted by Valley Kingdom International Ministries, accepting an award from his church for helping vaccinate more than 200 parishioners, a church almost 18 miles from his West Side hospital. In a statement this afternoon, Loretto's board says it is disappointed by the revelations and has reprimanded Miller. All reported events, it says, stem from a sincere desire to vaccinate as many eligible Chicagoans as possible. But in a telephone briefing with reporters, the city's top doctor says there are bigger concerns, including vaccinating people who are not yet eligible.
It seems that they have prioritized vaccinating people who were well connected.
The Chicago Department of Public Health says it is suspending the vaccination program at Loretto after another vaccination event at the Trump International Hotel came to light. The doctor who owns a condo in the building and helped organize that event, Anash Ahmed, has also been reprimanded.
We just can't have something like this happen again.
The mayor expressing her disappointment Wednesday. But tonight, there is concern among Austin residents showing up at Loretto for their shots.
My hope is that, they'll be able to find a solution.
The Department of Health says it's withholding only first vaccine doses from Loretto. People who got their first vaccine here and are awaiting their second dose, the city says it will take care of them.
This does not mean that we are in any way abandoning Austin.
In Austin, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC5 News.
Let's turn now to suburban Glenwood today. A vaccination pop-up at an unusual place. Long lines forming outside the Glenwood Golf Club. It was transformed into a large-scale vaccination clinic for today only. More than 1,600 people were able to get their first shot today.
I've been online for about a month trying to get a shot.
Being up there in age, concerned about the virus, I said I got to get in here and get my vaccination.
The people who had appointments today will come back in a few weeks for their second shot.
Next week, the state of Illinois is expanding vaccine eligibility to include additional essential workers. Starting on Monday, the 22nd, higher education staff, government workers, and the media will be eligible for vaccinations at more than 900 locations. 1 week later, food and beverage workers, construction trade workers, and religious leaders will be eligible for vaccines. Dr. Ngozi Ezike says as more vaccine becomes available, the state will make sure it is reaching out to people who are at the greatest risk of exposure to COVID. And the Cook County Department of Health today announced that 32 municipalities where it will focus its equity distribution programs. Now, they are mostly in the west and south suburbs of Cook County. They're predominantly communities of color, and they have been more adversely impacted by COVID-19. The department says it is working to identify the most vulnerable residents and to arrange for vaccinations for those individuals.
New at 6, Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul got his first dose of the COVID vaccine today. He got his shot at the Advocate Healthcare's vaccine clinic at Amani Village. The AG became eligible for the shot under Phase 1B+. The Attorney General said he hopes his willingness to get the vaccine will encourage others to do the same.
I think everybody's feeling better today after being out in the sunshine, even though it was a bit cold out there still, Brant.
It looks warmer than it actually feels, Allison. 45 at O'Hare. Feels like 41. And here's what to expect as we roll through the evening hours, and that is the temperatures dropping off into the 30s. But no weather threats this evening, and the winds have backed down. What's the weekend look like? Look at these numbers. Upper 50s for the first day of spring tomorrow. 60s on Sunday and Monday. Some rain comes in late Monday into Tuesday. More on the forecast just a few minutes away.
All right, Brant, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Well, right now, more reasons to celebrate. It's that time of year. March Madness finally here.
Let the madness begin. Two of our local teams are competing, Loyola and the University of Illinois. And tonight, fans from both schools are celebrating some huge victories. Mike Berman live outside of Butler University's Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis with the celebration, the excitement there. Mike?
Yeah, hey there, guys. Hinkle Fieldhouse behind me is where Loyola's win came. Illinois' came over at the State Fairgrounds at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Little trivia, inside of Hinkle Fieldhouse, that's where they shot part of the iconic basketball movie Hoosiers. So what better spot to hold the NCAA tournament? Of course, after there was no tournament last year, fans are glad that there's a tournament being played anywhere in the United States. And that is especially true for Illini fans and Ramblers fans. With manageable drives from Chicago and Champaign, both fan bases well represented here in Indianapolis. Now, the venues are only allowing 25% capacity, so those that had tickets felt awfully lucky to be part of this unique March Madness.
It's been, 700 days since we've had March Madness now, since we had the time off, so really strange. Just glad that they're actually doing it. You know that with the COVID situation, we're able to go ahead and have this and let the fans get out and enjoy it.
It's been a long year, and I think some of the excitement and joy that's been brought to my life has been through college basketball and watching the Ramblers get to where they're at today. And so, yeah, really happy to be here and seeing the light at the end of this tunnel for what's been a difficult 365 days.
But now these two fan bases become mortal enemies. The Illini and the Ramblers will now face each other in the round of 32 coming up on Sunday. Guys, I would say that is one heck of an Illinois hoops showdown. Going to be fun. Live outside of Indianapolis, Mike Berman, NBC5 Sports.
Love that Butler campus. I got 3 Bulldogs. Sad that their team's not in it this year, but boy, how great the Illini and the Ramblers are going to be taking on each other. That's awesome.
Oh,
Thank you, Mike.
You spend time outdoors or stay in watching basketball. That's the decision you have to make. Still ahead, we're going to talk about a history-making medical procedure done right here in Chicago.
We can avoid rejecting these lungs just because a patient had COVID in the past.
Get this, an Illinois man spent nearly a year on a ventilator battling COVID-19. Now he has a new set of lungs. Then.
Like literally, I feel like the black sheep. I've been punished and I am the black lady.
A CPS teacher 7 minutes late to pick her son up from school. Now she's under investigation by DCFS.